This is a drama series called The Rawabi School for Girls. The story revolves around a high school girl named Mariam. She is timid and nice, but isn't afraid to speak when she has to. Mariam goes to a high-ranking prestigious school named Rawabi School for Girls. One day, she is beaten to the ground by a bunch of bullies who run away after knocking her out. Later, the bullies are interrogated by police, but they are not all regretful for their action. In fact, they bluntly deny having anything to do with the incident. The scene shifts to 2 weeks earlier. Mariam gets on the bus on her way to school and sits with her only best friend Dina. Behind them are the two most popular girls of school, Liane and Rania. Liane is the leader and is feared by everyone. Her father is a powerful man who has authority over the principal of the school. Because of his influence, Liane never gets into trouble. Even now, she calls Mariam a nerd and make fun of the shape of her body. Mariam quietly chooses to ignore her and start chatting to Dina. Liane has a secret boyfriend who her parents do not approve of. She is planning to escape at the next stop to meet him. When the said stop arrives, she pulls tea on Dina and distracts everyone before security getting off the bus. Mariam sees her running away, but doesn't think much of it. At school, Dina tries to wash the satin of her shirt, but nothing works. It's not the first time that she was bullied. In fact, Liane, Rania, and their third friend Ruqayya are always known for creating trouble. Somewhere else, in a public restaurant, Liane changed into revealing clothes and meets her boyfriend at the restaurant. It turned out that it's her first time meeting him. After talking to him for months on Facebook, she is visibly nervous that someone might see them together. Back in the school, their teacher, Mr. Abir, introduced a new student to the class named Nov. Her unique sense of style and attitude is new to the girls. After school, when the bus on the road home, Liane sneaks in without anyone noticing. She tells Rania everything about her date. A curious Dina overhears their conversation and finds out Lina is about to sneak out again on Wednesday. Later that evening, Mariam and her family are having dinner. Her father is a fun-loving man, while her mother is more on the stricter side. Both of them love Mariam and her younger brother dearly. Before going to bed, Mariam calls her boyfriend Yazan. They have been dating for about 2 weeks, but haven't had many chances to talk to each other. Mariam feels bad that she hasn't told Dina about the relationship yet, considering the fact that they are best friends as they talk. Yazan jokingly calls her a nerd. The comment hits home to Mariam because her bullies always call her that. The following day during gym class, the girls are playing basketball. Mariam and Liane are in the same team, but Liane refuses to pass the ball to her. When argued by the gym teacher, she hits Mariam with the ball. The teacher scolded her, but she doesn't stop making fun of the poor girl. Even though Liane is respectful to everyone, she is sent back to the sideline with no consequences whatsoever. Later, the girls are in the changing room when Liane notices Mariam staring at them. She's deliberately bumped into her and in turn accuses her of grabbing her inappropriately. Nova, who witnesses the encounter, knows that Liane is at fault, but she doesn't speak. Eventually, Liane manipulates everyone into thinking Mariam grabbed her inappropriately. They call her a freak and make her cry at something that wasn't even her fault. After the accident, Mariam is eager to take revenge when Dina informs her of Liane's plan to sneak out again. She goes to the principal and tells her after that Liane is summoned to the principal office and called out for escaping school. If anyone else would have done the same, they would have immediately been expelled. But since this is Liane, the principal lets her off with the only warning. Even the teacher, Miss Abir, is surprised at the fact that she didn't get into trouble. The principal's only explanation is that she doesn't want to anger Liane's father. The bullies know that someone from their bus must have rated Liane out to the principal. They blackmail a janitor into finding out who is ready to teach them a lesson. By the end of the day, they discover it was Mariam. Enraged by her idiocy, they call her to the back of the school and beat her up. The poor thing can do nothing but cry for help. Eventually, Liane shoves her head to the concrete and knocks her out. Then the girls run away before everyone catches them. Some minutes later, Noof finds Mariam lying unconscious and calls the ambulance. In the following scenes, the bullies are being interrogated by the police. They smugly claim that they had nothing to do with the incident and even go as far as to make fun of Mariam for getting hurt. A flashback shows us that Noof had witnessed the girls beating up Mariam, but Rania threatened her to keep quiet. So when the officer asks her if she knows who the culprit is, she keeps quiet. A few days later, when Mariam wakes up, an assembly is held in the school to find out who the police are. Mariam is asked to tell the truth, but she is so scared that she can hardly form a sentence. At last, she claims her memory is hazy, so she doesn't remember who it was. The principal is revealed that Leanne didn't get into trouble. The policeman then gives the students a chance to confess if they know something. Leanne takes the opportunity to disclose that she did in fact push Mariam, but it was in self-defense of Mariam touching her inappropriately. The girls support her statement, and no one believes Mariam when she says otherwise. Nov feels bad for her, but isn't brave enough to speak up. The official believes Mariam is a pervert and suspends her for 2 weeks, while Leanne yet again gets off with a simple warning. Mariam's own mother believes Leanne lies and thinks his daughter is a freak. Mariam's world shatters into pieces, and she feels the lowest she has ever been. But the sadness eventually turns into frustration and anger. For the next 2 weeks, she is sent to a therapist to get treated, but she only talks about Leanne in all her sessions. Life gets even tougher for her when Dina stops replying to her text and ditches her completely. 2 weeks later, Leanne and her group walks into the school like they own it. They aren't the least scared that Mariam will expose the truth, because even if she does, no one will believe her in a way. Then they are told about the national football team recruitment, where only 2 girls can be selected. Ruqayya wants to be included, but Rania and Leanne disagreed her completely, claiming that no one can compete with them. Ruqayya felt out and frustrated, but she doesn't voice her feeling. This eventually causes a rift in the relationship. Mariam arrives at the school and meets Dina. It is revealed that Dina found out about Yazin and Mariam's relationship, and it's mad she hides it till now. Moreover, since she was not in the shower room that day, she believes Leanne's story. Mariam is heartbroken by her friends' indifference. When she finally walks into the classroom, the bullies make fun of her. Yet again, Mariam rushes to the bathroom and executes her first plan to destroy Leanne in her group. She breaks the fire alarm, causing everyone in the school to run outside. When no one is in the classroom, she steals Leanne's phone. Then she plays the voice message of the girls insulting Miss Abir. In the announcement room, the entire school hears them talking badly about the poor woman. After the accident, the girls are taken to Miss Abir's office, although they try to play the victim. Miss Abir doesn't listen. She punishes them by assigning them to janitor duty for an entire day and bans them from taking part in the all sport activities. That would mean they will not get to try out for the football team. The girls reluctantly agree to do as told. They wear the janitor uniform and they clean the school ground while the other girls laugh at them. Mariam is sitting on the bench, proud that her plan worked perfectly. Just then, she is approached by Nov, who claims to know who was behind the prank. Initially, Mariam denies being involved, but it doesn't convince Nov. She promises not to tell anyone, but asks her to be careful. A flashback shows us that Nov was kicked out of her last school for hacking into the school's database and stealing midterm questions. Later that day, the girls are called to auditorium to attend an anti-bullying program. When the presenter asks someone to volunteer as a victim of bullying, as Miss Abir urged Leanne to go forward, much to her annoyance. Then the presenter asks someone else to be the bully for the act. While most of the girls are scared to bully Leanne even as an act, Noob raises her hand and surprises everyone. She does very well in enactment and insults Leanne. Leanne, on the other hand, tries to intimidate her but can do nothing in front of the teachers. By the end of it, everyone's calling Leanne stinky. She is embarrassed and the most of all fears at Nov for meeting with her. After the program, Leanne asks the principal to let them join the football tryouts as a favor. They are given permission against Miss Abir, who's during. Nov tells Mariam that she was supposed to graduate last year before she was kicked out of school. She has caused her mother a lot of trouble and so didn't want to get involved in another scandal. Mariam understands her situation and forgives her. Then for the tryouts, the bullies also take part in the game except Ruqayya, who doesn't want to compete with her friends. Eventually, Mariam has to go one-on-one against Leanne. She kicked the ball, but it hits Leanne on the head. In rage, she tries to hit her back, but is stopped by the gym teacher. After the practice, Rania reveals that she found Nov watching them while they were beating up Miriam. She hasn't told her friends because she didn't think Nov would rat out Leanne. The girls now suspect Nov to be behind the voice note prank. After school, they attack Nov's little sister. Nov tries to stop them. They threaten her to stay away from them from her own good. Nov has now had enough of the police. She can't risk her sister being hurt, so she decided to help Miriam in whatever she is planning. The night she runs to Miriam's house and offers help. Although skeptical at first, Miriam reveals a plan that she has to take proper revenge on the police and the corporate principal. They decide to strike Ruqayya first because she is the most vulnerable of them all.